Shalom to my brothers and sisters in the body of Yahushua HaMashiach. And today I bring you a continuation of the coming of the beast that was, that is not, even is the eight and of the seven. And this is part 3 of in the playlist of Esau and Edom. And the reason why I'm doing part 3 because some of my brothers and sisters are having questions about Rome being the woman on the beast. Now, I'm going to let you know the Most High had me to go back and read those chapters this week when part 1 was made. And the reason is because now he is revealing all of his mysteries for his children so you can be prepared for what is about to happen. Now, it's very important that you read line upon line, because if you don't take your time with these scriptures, you will miss something very important. So the basis of this lesson will come from Revelation 13, and we'll also go to Revelation 17. And I do have a breakdown. Also, it's very important that you read Daniel's chapter 2, Daniel's chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, because it ties all in together. Most importantly, for those who have the King James 1611 or the Apocrypha, you need to read Second Esdras. Second Esdras reveals a lot of end-time prophecies to give you the whole picture. Remember, the Bible is written like a conversation. It does change subject. You have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together to see the whole picture. Now for a recap of part 1 and part 2. When you read Revelations chapter 8 through 11 go together. Revelation 12 to 15 go together. Revelation 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 go together. And what I mean by that, it starts as a conversation and it gives you a beginning to the end. Remember, each of these books together give you a piece to the puzzle so you can see the whole picture. The next thing is I want to mention before we start with this lesson, it'll come to my mind as we start. But let us read Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to read to you the summary. A beast rises out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns, to whom the dragon giveth his power. Another beast coming up out of the earth causes an image to be made of the former beast, and that man should worship it and receive his mark. Now I know what I wanted to read to you as far as a recap, and this is the order that so far that I have seen according to the scriptures. And let me just turn to it. I'm trying to find it in my notes, my people. Give me a second. So I'm going to have to do this on the top of my head because I can't find my note on it. According to Revelation chapter 16, the mark will be implemented by the last Antichrist. According to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and the chapter summary of the 1611, the Antichrist will be, the last Antichrist will be revealed to the whole world. Then somewhere following after that is the redemption of the 3 groups of people. They are the 144,000, the church Sas bride, which is the spiritual temple of Yahuwah, which is also the body of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? And then the third group is the chosen remnant of Israel that is to return to the Holy Land. Then, after that, America will be destroyed. America is the woman that sits upon the beast. America is modern day Babylon, like the ancient Babylon of the Chaldeans. America is also the merchant of merchants, just like ancient Tyrus. America has the Statue of Liberty, and when you do your research and history about it, it represents the Queen of Babylon, going way back to Nimrod. And also, that statue is tied into Venus, which is Lucifer, And according to Isaiah chapter 14, Lucifer is the king of Babylon, of modern Babylon today. Okay, and another piece of evidence can be found in Washington, D.C. with the Pentagon, for that is Lucifer sign. The five-pointed Pentagon star represents the planet Venus. The planet Venus represents Old Day Star, and that represents son of the morning, which is Lucifer, as written in Isaiah chapter 14. Those who have the 1611 Bible will see that precept. Okay, so then America is destroyed. Then the Antichrist have to reign for 3.5 years. The two witnesses will come against the Antichrist, as written in Revelation chapter 11 and the book of Nicodemus, chapter 18 and 19. Read those two chapters. Then once they fulfill their part, Christ will return with the 144,000 to bind Satan for 1,000 years. The same thing that happened in ancient Egypt. Satan was bound for 5 days from Abib 14th to Abib 18th. Then he was released to stir up the Egyptians to pursue my people, but the Most High destroyed them by flooding them with the waters. So you can read that in the book of Jubilees. Now, same thing gonna happen again. Satan gonna be bound by Yahushua and the 144. They're gonna bound him in hell. Well, and they call it the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. Then when he is released, he's going to stir up the nation. That's going to be the great day, the great battle, where they would come after Yahuwah's people in the Holy Land, in the earthly realm. You can read that in Ezekiel chapter 38 and also read Ezekiel chapter 39. And that is when Yahuwah, our Holy Father, will destroy him and cast him into the eternal lake of fire. That is the final judgment. Remember, Yahushua is coming to establish the judgment in the earthly realm, and he's going to prepare us for the Holy Father. And then after he complete his task, then Yahuwah is going to bring the eternal judgment. That's the final judgment, which we call the second resurrection. Okay? So let's begin in Revelation chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Okay, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, here's very important characteristics. So when you read Daniel chapter 7, when you compare these characteristics to that beast in Daniel chapter 7, it has changed. And the reason why it's changed because the beast has been restored. If you know the history of Rome, the Roman Empire, they did have a period where they fell, but now they have risen again. Okay? And I have a breakdown of these characteristics so you can see what nation or kingdom that represent the leopard and the feet of the bear and the mouth of the lion. Now, in verse 2, we know the dragon represents Satan, okay? Remember what Satan offered to Yahushua in the wilderness? That he said, if you bow and worship me, I will give you kingdoms. That's what my brother Edom did. He bowed and he submitted himself to attain the powers from Satan. That's why they said the dragon is red, because red represents Esau, who is Edom, who is also Idumea, and who is also Rome, okay? And that can be confirmed in Genesis chapter 25 and 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 7 through 9. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. This is very important, my people. The wounded head, okay, one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. That is talking about Rome. This is why Rome is not described as the woman that sits upon the beast. You have to pay attention to these very important characters. Now, the word wound, another word for that, for those who have the 1611 Bible, that stands for slain. Okay, his deadly slaying was healed. Verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So again, Daniel 11, when you read the summary, it would confirm you we are still in Rome kingdom. And when I give you the breakdown, you will see why, because there are four major kingdoms that Daniel saw in chapter 2. All right. Now, we know Esau is the opposite of Jacob. They do not keep the covenant. They do not follow the word of the Most High of the 1611 Bible. They are opposite. They are hypocrites. You can read it in Psalms chapter 50. They do not follow the instructions or nor commandments of Yahuwah. Okay, this is why they are classified as the daughter of Babylon in Psalms chapter 137, and read the book of Obadiah. Verse 5. There was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue for 40 and 2 months. So we know the 40 and 2 months represent on 3.5 years. And I want to read further down before I give you the interpretation of verse 5, because I realize there are two 3.5 year period that the word is talking about. Okay. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahuwah, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in the heaven. So I'm going to pause here. We're going to go to Daniel's chapter 7. But first, I'm going to take it to 2nd Esdras chapter 12, so I can prove to you it's talking about this beast that is in Revelation 13 is the restored beast. Okay. Okay, so we're in 2nd Esdras chapter 12, and I'm going to read verse 18. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. Okay, key word. And it shall stand in peril of falling. Okay, nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. Okay. So his kingdom is not totally ended, my people. It fell, but it was brought back. So we're still in the Roman kingdom of the four great beasts that's mentioned in Daniel's chapter 2. So now let us go to Daniel's chapter 7. Let's see, can I find it? Here we go. Daniel's chapter 7. And I'm not going to read all these scriptures. You need to go back and read a whole chapter for yourself. I'm just going to touch on the highlight of these scriptures, okay? Now, I do highly recommend that you read Daniel chapter 7, verse 15 to 20, and compare the characteristics of that beast to the beast in Revelation 13. Remember, it's still under the Roman Empire, okay? Now, the verse I'm going to read to you is this one right here. Let's see here. We're going to start with verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given to his hand until a time and times and dividing of times. So this is another area where we see that, and we know the time and times and dividing of times represent 3.5 years. Okay, when we keep reading. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it until the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much trouble me, and my counsel is changing me, but I kept the matter in my heart. So let us go back and review 25. It said that he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and thinks to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times. So what I will do, I don't want to give you the interpretation of that because I don't want to confuse you. I want to go back to Revelation 13 because there's two periods in history where we have a 3.5 year period. Okay, so let me go back to Revelation 13. So we already read verse 5, dealing with the 42 months, in verse 6. So when we read verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So remember, we're dealing with the current beast that we're in now. We're not dealing with the 8 one that comes out of the 7. So the first period of the 3.5 years, what it's talking about is dealing with the 7 year war that my people, the Israelites / Jews, had with the Romans, and with the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. When Jerusalem fell, it was during that period in midway between that 7 year war. So at the beginning of the 7 year war, 3.5 years later, Jerusalem was brought down and destroyed. Okay. And since that time, my brother Edom and the Gentile nations has been ruling over my people and oppressing and afflicted them since that time. Okay. So that represents that 42 months. He's also changed times as well, because when you begin to understand Yahuwah calendar, and I have a playlist of videos on that too, to give you the breakdown of the true way we should keep time. He does not follow Yahuwah's creations. For when you understand the heavens and the lights that were made in heaven, you will understand Yahuwah's holy calendar. The Gregorian calendar has nothing to do with Yahuwah. This includes his weekly format and his day format, because his day format starts from midnight to midnight. His weekly format is continuous, but when you study the heavens, it's one particular light in the heaven that lets you know when the week begin to end and let you know when the month begin to end. Okay? Again, watch my playlist videos. His years are off in the Gregorian calendar. When the sun actually have a total of 366 days, it does not fall in their leap year, my people. When the sun actually have a total of 365 days, it does not fall in their year. It's really out of line. It's out of sync. Look up tropical year, which is solar year, because that's the actual time of the sun that's dealing with the sun circuit. In the Hebrew, it's called tekufah. It's dealing with the circuit of the sun. So let's get back on track now. All right. So we just read verse 7. So he's been given the time to conquer my people and to afflict them. And also he will be given a time, this is the Roman kingdom, which is Esau, to rule over the other nations. And that's evident in history and in the news. Verse 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Okay? Because he's giving the false doctrines of the word, a lot of people are going to fall for his lies, such as the image of Christ they portray, which is the image of Caesar Borgia. That's a lie. When you read Daniel chapter 7, chapter 9, and Revelation chapter 13, it gives you the true image of Yahushua. And he is a Negro, and Negro does have black or brown skin. Also read Ezekiel chapter 1, because even it gives you the descriptions of the cherubims. Okay, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. Listen very carefully, my people. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the Bible is so true about where seed you sow, you shall reap. And if you don't repent, you're gonna receive that judgment, my people. And in history, our brother Edom has always done hateful things towards us. In this time of our captivity, he has killed so many of my people. He has done so many hideous things that no human would do to another human. When you study the history of my people, your mouth gonna drop. And I'm telling you, my brother Esau is so wicked. He hate us that bad because Yahuwah chose us to be a nation unto him. And to help give you understanding why, he made a promise to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And because there was a righteous lineage, that's why he chose Jacob. And he knows Jacob's heart. And he knows Esau's heart as well as Ishmael's heart and the other nations. And because of Jacob's heart, that's why he chose Jacob to be a nation unto himself. So you need to understand my father, my people, and stop letting envy come into your heart. Stop being jealous, because it's a reason why Yahuwah would choose what he chooses. Now that doesn't mean you cannot come and worship and serve him, for he has no respect of persons. But if he chose a certain nation to be the leading nation, you need to respect our Holy Father's decision. Okay, let us read. Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he that hath two horns like a lamb, he spake as a dragon. So remember, two horns will represent, I believe, a king. And I'm going to take you to the breakdown of that pretty soon. Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily wound was healed. So this beast that come out of the beast, the first beast, which is Rome, is going to cause the whole world to worship that beast and its daily wound. Now I know what you're thinking, because I thought this too, that it was America, but when the Most High had me go back in them scriptures, I realized America is the harlot. So who is this beast that coming out of that beast? Okay. Verse 13. He doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. So this beast that's coming will be able to do wonders, miracles, and possess powers. Remember 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the last Antichrist will deceive the whole world. It's going to be a grand delusion. Also, look at my sister Shanette dream, which confirmed what I'm telling you now in part 2 of this series. Okay, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So again, he's bringing the people back under the Roman Empire. Okay. And many will be killed who do not worship this image of the beast. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, this is a confirmation. For when America was established, America didn't do this. America didn't cause a mark to be forced upon the people. So this is how we know this pertains to the last Antichrist and his kingdom that will come forth. Okay? Let us keep reading. And also it confirms what Revelation 16 was telling us about the mark of the beast. And those who read Revelations know that if anyone bow down to the image of the beast, anyone who takes the beast's mark is already down. There will be no mercy for you. You will be cast into the eternal lake of fire. Okay? Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, and we know that's 666. So we know that the last Antichrist is coming as a form of a man. Okay? Now I'm going to take you to the breakdown. Now you want to get your pencil and paper so you can write these things down and review what I'm showing to you now. Okay? This is a breakdown of Revelation chapter 13. And we will also probably take a look at Revelation chapter 17 as well. Okay? So this is again another recap. Let's see here. Sorry about that. A recap. Remember, Esau, Edom, or Edomites, or / Idumea, are represented by the color red. But they have red hair, my people. All right? And he was born ruddy, which means reddish brown, but due to the mixing with the other nations and the mixing with Satan and his fallen angels, he has white skin, my people. The majority. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about the majority. And the white skin also resulted from leprosy. Read Leviticus chapter 13 as well. And watch the playlist because I give you specific scriptures in detail to prove what was the original color of man's hair and how it came from Yahuwah and how Yahushua represent those characteristics as well. Okay? So this represents Esau's kingdom. The color red on the dragon represents his kingdom, which is confirmed in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7 to 9. This also includes the Jewish people who are the converts. Now they are mostly labeled as the supported Jews, and they too can be identified by their red hair. And the book of Obadiah gives more insight on why Esau's kingdom will be destroyed by people. Why they would not have any mercy from the Most High. Now remember, a remnant of Esau will be spared, as written in Amos chapter 9. Okay, those are the ones who truly repented and have received salvation and baptism and wants to come and serve Yahuwah and give honor to his son Yahushua as King of Kings. Okay. Sorry about that again. Let me try. What I'm going to have to do is put my cursor on the item so that way we won't keep going through this. Okay. Another recap. The king of Babylon, which is America, is Lucifer. He is called the son of the morning or day star, which is represented by the planet Venus and by the 5-pointed pentagram star. He is the prince of hell / Sheol. Another name for him is Beelzebub when you read Nicodemus chapter 18. Another recap is about Satan. Satan is the dragon. He is the chief angel in charge when you read Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. He is the king of the north. That's in Daniel chapter 11, verse 40 to 45. He is also known as Moloch or Sikoth, who is the king of the tabernacle of Moloch, or the king of the tabernacle of the synagogue of Satan, that you read in Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. He is also known as the star of Remphan, which is Chuin, which is represented by the planet Saturn, and by the six-pointed hexagram star that you read in Amos chapter 5, verse 26, and Acts chapter 7, verse 73. He is the beast, referred as a kingdom in Daniel chapter 3, verse 23. He is the prince of death and destruction, which can be read in First Corinthians chapter 15 and in Hosea. I can't remember what book in Hosea, but he represents the prince of death, in other words. Also, he is the son of perdition, which can be confirmed in Revelations chapter 17, John chapter 17, verse 12, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, and Psalms chapter 109, verse 7. He is also the prince of Meshech and Tubal, and Meshech and Tubal are the sons of Japhet. And Meshech country is Turkey. Tubal countries are Spain and Portugal, when you read Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2. Another way of saying this, that he is the prince of the chiefs of Meshech and Tubal, for those who have the 1611 Bible. Now to the nitty gritty. Remember in Daniel chapter 2, he mentioned about the four great beasts, which is basically the four kingdoms. So here are the characteristics. This is very important that you have to pay attention to. Okay? I'm going to bring this up a little bit more, so that way you can pause your screen to write this stuff down. Okay, the four great beasts, which are the four kingdoms. Some people say kings, but it's represent kingdoms of the book of Daniel in chapter 2, verse 23 to 45, chapter 7, verse 1 to 28, and chapter 8, verse 1 through 27, with Revelation chapter 13. Okay. Now, the gold that was on the image that Daniel described deal with the ancient Babylonians. These are your Chaldeans, and they are represented with the lion with eagle wings. Now, the silver represents the Persian Medes, and they are represented by the bear. Now, the brass represent the Greeks. Now, remember, within the Greeks' kingdom, the leopard, who was Alexander the Great, when he died, his kingdom split into four heads. Okay. And they are the Potomac Kingdom, the Seleucid/Greek/Grecian Kingdom, the Pergamon Kingdom, which also known as Attalid Dynasty, and the Antigonid Dynasty. Okay, and we'll go further down where you can get what countries those four heads covers. Okay, you can go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 6 and 8, verse 8. And verse 23 of chapter 8. Now, the iron mixed with murky clay is giving you a big hint, because Romans represent also Esau kingdom, as well as the Greeks was from Esau kingdom. And I do have videos to give you the breakdown of why the Greeks are a part of Esau kingdom. Okay, watch that as well. So when it said iron mixed with murky clay, it's giving you a big hint, because when you read in Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, I'm going to read it out loud to you. Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, and it said, whereas thou sawest irons mixed with murky clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as irons not mixed with clay. This is giving you an analogy. You will learn that when Esau joined himself to Satan and his fallen angels, they did mix with them. This is why we have the white hair, blue eyes, and white skin combination. This is why we have earth. This is why we have giants in the earth, even after the flood. For Satan and his fallen angels did mix with mankind. And that's what that verse said. And I'm going to mention it again. It was very clear about that. That verse did said that what? They mingle themselves with the seed of men. So it's letting you know there's two different species here. You have a celestial, and you have the what they call testival. I'm going to say the heaven and the earth. You have those two seeds mixing. Okay. So the beast in ancient times, I'm going to give you the breakdown here. The dreadful and terrible beast with great strength has iron teeth and nails of brass, and the nails of brass represent the Greek's kingdom that devour and break in pieces. It stomps the residue with its feet, is diverse from the other three beasts, and has 10 horns, and the 11th horn has eyes of a man and a mouth speaking great things. Now that 11th horn that has eyes of a man and a mouth speaking great things, that represent your Antichrist. Now, Antichrist is going to be the opposite of Yahushua. They're going to be the one turning people away from Yahuwah and to speak great blasphemies against Yahuwah. Okay? That's why they call the Antichrist. They are opposite of his son. The 11th horn uprooted 3 of the first horns. So we're going to have to read the following below so I can give you the breakdown of this. Okay? So bear with me. Remember, Antiochus IV Epiphanes' kingdom is under the Roman Republic, the fourth beast of Daniel chapter 2, chapter 7, and 8. The brass nails of the beast are a representation of the Greeks' 4 kingdoms under the Roman dominion. Okay? Remember, I'm going to give you the other 6 kingdoms that make up the 10 brass nails. Okay? He is the first of the 11th horn, or the mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. There will be many fulfilling the place of the 11th horn or the mouth, which is the Antichrist. Remember, they're going to be opposite of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? Until Yahuwah comes and judgment is given, and Yahushua is giving dominion and the kingdom. Again, read Daniel chapter 7, 9 to 14, and 20 to 27. Now, I do mention that some of the Antichrist, it first began with Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, but I'm going to give you the breakdown for the down, so I'm going to skip that line. But as far as verses to read 1 John chapter 2, verse 18, because it tells us that there will be many antichrists as well as the last antichrist to come. And let's go there now so we can look at that verse. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists. Okay? Whereby we know that it is the last time. So he's letting us know, even from Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, after him there be many Antichrists. Antichrist represents someone who is the opposite of Yahushua HaMashiach. Again, they do not keep the word. They keep the people from honoring and following the covenant of Yahuwah. Okay. And they speak great blasphemies against Yahuwah. All right. This is why they're called Antichrist. But the last Antichrist shall come. All right. Which is Gog. Let's go back to the breakdown. All right. This period of time, when it first, remember I told you in Revelation 13, it talks about the 3.5 years with the tribulation, which is the 42 months. And this is what the Most High brought to my attention several weeks ago. So this is the first part. This is the first of the 3.5 years. This is known as the tribulation of Zion. Now I'm going to give you the scriptures below because I'm missing some here, okay? But a lot of people misunderstand what Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21 is talking about. Because a lot of people are more focused on the great tribulation during the time of the Antichrist reign, and they don't understand the prophecies that's dealing with the children of Israel, because their tribulation started way early, my people, since 70 AD. So I'm going to say that part when we go further down, okay? Also, there's some antichrists that are talked about in Revelation chapter 17, verse 10, again, I would go further down to give you more details on that. So now we're first going to take a look at the 10 Greek kings who are the Hellenistic rulers in the Roman Republic reign of 175 BC. Okay, and the 3 kings subdued are. So this is again, we're going back to Daniel chapter 7, because remember the first Antichrist, who is the horn, who speak great blasphemies, started with Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. Okay, during the time, this is based on at the time of 175 BC. Okay, so the Seleucid dynasty, which covered the area of Asia / Syria, that is the first of the head when Alexander the Great kingdom was split. The second head is Ptolemaic dynasty, and that land covers Egypt. Then the Antigonid dynasty, that covers Macedonia and Greece, which is the third head. And the fourth head is the Attila dynasty, and that area covered Pergamon/Turkey. Now the other 6 kingdoms of the Greek Sascletians that makes up the 10 nails of brass are Greco-Bactrian, and that covered Bactria and San Diana in Central Asia. Then you have Indo-Greeks, which was looking at India. Then you have northwestern Anatolia, and that's dealing with Turkey too, which is dealing with the king of Bithynia. Then you have Asia Minor, that's dealing with king of Pontus. Then you have southern Anatolia, which is dealing with the king of Commagene. Okay, and the 10th part of the 10th kingdom of the Greeks that represents the nails of brass in the beast in Daniel chapter 7 is the king of Cappadocia, which is central Anatolia. Okay, now this is, I'm giving you the kings that King Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, the first Antichrist. I'm giving you the 3 kings that he subdued, and they are Ptolemy the sixth Philometor. The second one is, let's see here, is Heliodorus, okay, who was the treasurer of Seleucus the fourth, and then which he killed. With Ptolemy, he conquered, and he came like a client king, like a puppet king unto him. And then Epiphanes killed Antiochus, who's the son of Seleucus, the fourth Philopator. Okay, so he killed him as well. And if you don't agree with one of those kings, he also, with Demetrius the first Soter, son of Seleucus the fourth, was unable to detest him because he was a hostage of Rome. So that's how he was able to take the kingdom for himself, my people. And that is confirmed in the book of Maccabees. Read 1st and 2nd Maccabees. Give you a lot of great history on that. Okay. Now this is to give you the breakdown of the 10 Greek kingdoms in their history. By the year of 175 BC, there were 10 Greek kingdoms, but originally there was 13 kingdoms. Now, I'm giving you the history of how it became 10. 2 of them were overthrown, okay? And one of them split, because remember, Alexander kingdom represented as 1, and one of them split into 4. So with 2 being overthrown, and one of them split into 4, that's how we get to 10 kingdoms, okay? And you can pause this screen to write that information down, but I'm not going to read all that word for word. So to sum all this up, the 10 kingdoms of the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 7 represents the nails of brass. Okay. Now this is a continuation of what we're talking about now. Now we're going to the part, how did the beast change, which is also titled as the restored beast in 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 18, which relate to Revelation chapter 13, what we just read. Okay, so let me get this all the way up so that way you can start, either pause the screen and take your notes. The beast with 7 heads, 10 horns, with 10 crowns upon the horns, and the name of blasphemy upon his heads was like unto a leopard, has feet of a bear, and a mouth of a lion. That's what we just read. This kingdom-sized beast will have Satan power, seat, and great authority, or what we just read in Revelation 13, and consists of many empires and kingdoms. Okay. Later, another beast slash kingdom rises, which exercises all the power of the beast. So he's going to, do what the Romans did. Okay. Because we're in the Romans kingdom with the deadly wound that was healed. So Rome is still going to be continuing along with this beast that's to come, my people, because you got to remember the prophecy in Number chapter 24 and Daniel 11. They won't be destroyed until the very end. This beast has two horns, so the two horns do represent a king, and the two horns are like a lamb. Today, America is the ruler within the beast kingdom. We're talking about Rome, and a supporter of Rome. We can see that by even just looking at the dollar bill. Look at the back of the dollar bill. You have the inside of Rome, which is the eagle, and then you have the pyramid, which represent Egypt. Okay, because right now America is holding the children of Israel, and America represent modern day Babylon and modern day Egypt. Remember the prophecy in Deuteronomy chapter 28, for the children of Israel shall be brought back into the house of bondage, which is Egypt, by ships. Okay, this is why America have to be destroyed, because she is the harlot, she is the ruling nation right now, which these other nations, including Rome, with the last Antichrist, is going to turn against America. The mark of the beast will be implemented in God's kingdom. So that can be confirmed in Revelation chapter 13, chapter 16 as well. And also read the other books of Revelation, especially chapter 9. Okay? The mark of the beast will be implemented in God's kingdom. So, yeah, I do want to mention, read chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 all together, and you'll see what I'm talking about. America is the head in the middle of the three heads on the eagle in 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 4, verse 29 through 35, chapter 12, verse 23 to 28. The other two heads are revealed in Daniel chapter 11, and that is the north and the south. So today we know the north is represented by Russia right now, and the south is represented by either Arabia / Yemen / Iran, because we know Iran and Russia now has joined forces, and they are coming against America. Okay, even Iran wants Turkey back from the European nations, because Turkey is the country where the seat of Satan is. Okay, read 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 16, because it gives you more insight about these end time prophecies that are being fulfilled, and it goes with the book of Revelations. Okay, so here's another breakdown of the restored beast. Now, instead of the Greeks representing the 10 kingdoms or the nails, what is happening now that the 10 kingdoms of the restored beast in Revelation chapter 13 and 2nd Ezra chapter 12 and 18 was in reference to the United Nations, or EU, or EEC, which is European Union or European Economic Commerce. And the original country was Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, and England, and West Germany. And when I go further down, I'm going to give you the update on those countries, okay? That makes up the EU. Also, the Roman kingdoms around, you need to write this down. The Roman kingdom, that started from 75-3 BC to 509 BC. Then followed was the Roman Republic from 509 BC to 27 BC. Then you have the Roman Empire from 27 BC to 476 BC, and that fell. This is done with the Western Rome. Later, Rome will be restored by America. That's the woman that sits on the beast. Okay? Because you can see how the president is working with the Pope of Rome. Also, read 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 18, and Revelation chapter 13. Also, the Byzantine Empire is a part of the Roman kingdoms, and which is classified in the eastern area. And that kingdom ended with the death of Constantine the 11th and the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Turks in 1453 AD. Okay. Now, some key words that you need to be familiar what they mean in Daniel's. Again, four great beasts represent four kingdoms in Daniel chapter 17, verse 17, which we went over above. Okay. You have the ancient Babylonians, the Persian Mede kingdom, the Greek/Grecian kingdoms, and then the fourth one is Rome, which we're in now. And that's what this one is saying too in Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Now, the 10 horns of the fourth kingdom in Daniel chapter 7, we just went over, which was the ancient Greek kingdom. Okay. That's in Daniel chapter 7, verse 29. Now, the 10 crowns upon the horns in Revelation 13 is 10 kings of each horn when you read Revelation 13. The little horn is the king that subdued the 3 kings of the 10 kings in Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 through 8, verse 11 to 12, 12 to 25, and Revelation, read Revelation 13, 5 to 8, because this little horn represents the Antichrist. Remember what First John told us, there would be many Antichrists, and even the last one to come. So it started out with Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. The mouth speaking great things and blasphemy are the Antichrist, leading to the Antichrist of the last time. And you can pause the screen and write these verses down. I'm not going to read it out loud again. Now, the 4 heads of the leopards are the 4 kingdoms that split. That was with Ptolemy, with the Seleucid kingdom. I know Pergamon, and the 4th one was dealing with Macedon. But you remember, because hopefully you wrote it down when I first went over it. Okay. Then the 7 heads of the beast in Revelation 13 represent 7 kingdoms of Esau. And it does begin with the Greeks, my people. And I have a breakdown of that. And for example, you can go in Daniel chapter 7, verse 6 with 8, verse 22, 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 23, and Revelation 13, 1, and read 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and 12. Now, times and divided of times, we know that represent 42 months or 3.5 years. So get your pencil and paper and write this down, because I'm giving you the 2 parts for Tribulation 1 and Tribulation 2. Okay? Because a lot of people get those 2 confused. So the times and divided of time represent 42 months or 3.5 years. Now, the tribulation of Zion, which are the Israelites, is pertaining with Daniel's 70-week prophecies, which is in chapter 10 of Daniel, with Matthew chapter 24, verse 20 to 22, Mark chapter 13. I forgot to write that verse down, but I know I put it over here in the wrong section. It is 14 through 37. Sorry about that. And Luke chapter 21, verse 20 through 38, and John chapter 16, verse 32 through 33. And 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 18 through 19. Because Yahuwah said, when Zion affliction is complete, that's where he would come to be visiting the earth. And we have been seeing these earthquakes that has been occurring throughout the world, and that's a sign that how we know he is coming, Yahuwah. Now, what I learned, what the Most High told me to do, first read Mark chapter 13, verse 14 to 37. Then read Luke chapter 21, verse 20 to 38. Then John chapter 16, verse 32 to 33. Then go back and read Matthew chapter 20, verse 22, because a lot of people misunderstood that the word tribulation in Matthew 24, they was thinking about the tribulation that's going to be in Revelation 12 when the last Antichrist reign. That is not so, my people. That's dealing with Zion tribulation. Because since 70 AD, my people has been under great tribulation in Roman in the Roman kingdom, which is Esau kingdom as well. Okay. So once that time is fulfilled, as with the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled, for them to reign, as well as the gospel to go out to the four corners of the earth, for that time to be fulfilled, all these things are being fulfilled now. Then it's going to lead into what we call the great tribulation of the 3.5 years with the last Antichrist. And that can be confirmed in Revelation chapter 11, chapter 12, and chapter 17, because it is clear that he will reign for a short period of time. And this is after Babylon is destroyed. Well, I'm not going to say it occurred after Babylon was destroyed. I just know that when Babylon is taken care of, a lot of people are going to see the full reign of the last Antichrist. Okay. And before Babylon is destroyed, which is America, I know that the redemption of these three groups, the 144, the church/bride, and the chosen remnant of Israel to go into the land, will occur before that destruction. Okay. Now, also to continue 42 months in Revelation 13 means that he will make war for 42 months, and that's represent the time when he conquered Jerusalem. Okay. Remember, it was a 7-year war, which represented by 1 week in Daniel's prophecy, and then in the middle of that week, which is 3.5 years, that's when Jerusalem is taken down. Now, the line of Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 37 to 46, and chapter 12, verse 31. Let me correct this. I'm sorry. It's talking about Yahushua, who is from the tribe of Yahuwah. And he's going to fulfill the prophecy in Genesis chapter 49, verse 8 to 12. For he is that ruling scepter. He's going to rule these nations with an iron rod when he returned with the 144,000 after the beast has reigned for 3.5 years, after the two witnesses has fulfilled their 3.5 years of prophecy and bringing great plagues on the earth. And they're going to bound Satan for 1,000 years. Okay. The stone that's in Daniel chapter 2, verse 45, and 7, verse 13 to 14, represent Yahushua. Also read Micah chapter 4, verse 7, and Luke chapter 1, verse 33. Now we're getting to some more specific details of Revelation 13 with the restored beasts. Okay? Remember, the beast changed up some as far as what's included in his kingdom today. So this is going to bring you more up to date, my people. So you definitely want to write this down. I'm going to go back up so you can get that title. And the title of that is Revelation chapter 13, the restored beasts. And that pertains to 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 18. Now the 7 heads are 7 mountains, which are empires, which are governments, which are kingdoms of Esau kingdom. Okay. And within that kingdom, we had certain, you will have many antichrists, but there was certain key antichrists. And you will see what I mean when we go to Revelation 17, verse 10. So I'm going to pull that scripture up now. However, write this down: Revelation 13, verse 2 to 3, Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, and chapter 10, verse 1 through 4. Also read Daniel chapter 7, verse 1 to 28, and chapter 10, verse 1 through 45 for the whole complete chapter. And with the 7 heads, for the breakdown of the 7 heads, which are 7 mountains, you will find it in Revelation chapter 17. But now we're going to Revelations chapter 17, verse 10. Revelations chapter 17, verse 10. And let me read you the summary too of this. A woman arrayed in purple scarlet with a golden cup in her hand sitteth upon the beast, which is great Babylon, the mother of all abomination, the interpretations of the 7 heads and the 10 horns, the punishment of the whore, the victory of the Lamb. So the interpretation of the 7 heads represents 7 mountains, which are 7 kingdoms or 7 governments. The 10 horns are represented by the European nation. And also of the 7 head, remember the wounded head that was healed represent Rome. This is why Rome is a part of the beast, okay? And the woman on the beast represent America, because America is modern day Babylon, because America has the children of Israel and will not let them go. And support of that is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Remember, when the children of Israel were brought by ships, again, which is the house of bondage, they came into America, which is known as Osiris. Also read 2nd Ezra chapter 13. For there where you find the 10 lost tribes too. Okay? So we're going to 17, verse, I believe it's 18, but let me make sure. Let me find my note here. 17, verse 10, that's what it was. I do apologize. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So let me give you the interpretation of that. The 7 kings are also the 7 antichrists. I'm talking about the key. I'm talking about the big boys. In other words, 5 of them are fallen. 1 is still in existence, and the other is not yet come. That's done with the last antichrist. And when he cometh, he continue a short space. So we know the last antichrist is going to reign for 3.5 years. Okay. So here's the breakdown. Get your pencil and paper ready. Greece, remember, is represented by the Grecian Seleucid kingdom, who originally started by Alexander the Great, and he represent what? The leopard. Remember Revelation 13? It talked about what? The leopard. Okay. Let me make sure. Let me look at my little notes here. Revelation 13, it talks about what? And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. So leopard represents the Greek kingdom. Okay. I'm not going to read all those verses. You need to write them down or pause the screen. All right. And the first antichrist of that kingdom was Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, who is the son of Antiochus the third, the great. That was the first antichrist. And he is the first that fell in out the 5. Now the one that's in existence today is the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. That is the deadly wound healed that's mentioned in Revelation 13 that makes up one of the 7 heads or the 7 mountains. Okay. The next one is Spain. Now, you may not agree with me, but I'm just going by what we know of history right now. Who would be closest to, like, as the big boys of the Antichrist. Okay. The second one that fell was Hernan Cortez, and he was the first governor of New Spain. And also, I was looking at his history. He was the one that conquered Mexico and did a lot of things, a lot of terrible things there. And Mexico is a part of Austerlitz, where the 10 lost tribes went to, my people. The third fallen one out of the 5 kings was in France was Napoleon Bonaparte the first. He was the emperor of the French. Okay. The fourth of the 5 fallen kings for Germany represent Adolf Hitler. Okay. And we know, everybody know about Hitler, so we know he definitely was one of the antichrists. Now, Russia represent the bear that's mentioned in Revelation chapter 13, because it said what? And his feet were as the bear. I'm sorry, and his feet were as the bear. I'll need to read that one more time. His feet were as the feet of a bear. Okay, Russia represents the bear. Now we know the Antichrist will be king of the north and he will rule Russia. Okay, he is the one that's not yet to come. He is known as Gog, which is the prince of Meshech and Tubal, who are sons of Japheth. And Meshech country is Turkey, which where the seat of Satan is. And Tubal country is Spain and Portugal. Now Great Britain, which is also known as England, is the fifth of the fallen kings and is represented by the lion. So when we go back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 2, it said that his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So this is our confirmation. So this could have been a king or queen of England. Right now, I'm leaning more towards Henry VIII of England, for he played a key role in the separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. But when you do your research on the kings and queens of England, one of them would definitely be the Antichrist. Okay, that has fallen. That's the key word. They have fallen. Okay, that means they all came and went. All right. So therefore, this is why America is the mystery Babylon, the woman that sit on the beast, the mother of harlots, the mother of fornications, and she is the abomination of the earth. It's totally separate, my people. And America will be destroyed. Then the Antichrist, the last Antichrist, can fully reign. This is why Rome cannot be destroyed, my people. It won't be destroyed until the very end. And it makes sense when you meditate and you think about it and seek Yahuwah on this. Okay. Also, the eight beasts / kingdom mentioned in Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I'm sincere to save time, pause the screen and write the rest of these scriptures down. Will come out of the seven kingdoms / mountains / governments of Esau kingdom as the king of the north, the son of perdition in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Gog, who's the prince of Meshech and Tubal, who is the last Antichrist that will reign with total control, my people, for 3.5 years. And during the time, the two witnesses who are Enoch and Elijah will be prophesied for 3.5 years and stand against the Antichrist. So those who are not redeemed, those who are not redeemed and who are alive are given another chance to make it right with the Most High. Because he's going to send you two witnesses to preach unto you. Now, those who say, well, I'm going to wait to that time, don't count it, because the word say that many shall die in these great plagues that's coming. So I'd rather make it right with Yahuwah now by receiving salvation in Romans chapter 10, verse 8 to 13, and be baptized in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Make it right with him now, because once you die, you don't get a second chance. That's it. Whatever you do in this life now determine your faith in the eternal kingdom. Either you're going to receive eternal life or you're going to receive eternal death, which is the eternal lake of fire. Choose today. Now, the 10 horns on this restored beast of Revelation 13 is the United Nations, and that was established in 1958. So I gave you the old version, but today, from what I researched so far, there are major of Belgium, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg, Portugal, Spain, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. Okay? So it may have changed some today depending on the news, what you see, but those are the members. Now the crowns represent kings or ruler within the seven kingdoms. Okay? Let me go down with something else I need to share with you. Now, the eagle is the inside of Rome, who is, the eagle is the inside of Edom, who is Rome, and his other kingdoms are in America, Germany, and all those other kingdoms that I mentioned above, those seven kingdoms. Okay? So Edom has spread himself very well. Let me give you a nice picture of that. Hopefully it'll go. Trying to, let me see if this do here. Trying to see if it will. Anyway. But you get the idea. You see the pictures. Try and bring it up first. America, Edom, Rome, Germany. They always come with that inside the eagle. That's how you know it's Esau kingdom. Also, we are expecting a plague of darkness to come, my people. Again, you need to study Exodus, because a lot of things that has happened in Exodus will happen again. For he will make a distinction between the children of light versus the children of darkness. Now, the children of light are the children of Yahuwah who have received salvation. Okay. And the children of darkness are the children of Satan who will not receive it. Read 1 John chapter 3. It gives a great breakdown. So when you come into salvation, which is the body of Yahushua HaMashiach, you become a child of Yahuwah. You become a son and daughter of Yahuwah, just like Adam. Adam was the son of Yahuwah. Okay? Because the Holy Spirit shall dwell in you. Because once you receive salvation and get your baptism, then the Holy Spirit baptism is going to follow. Okay? That's how you become his child. Because the Holy Spirit can dwell in you. You are the temple. You are the tabernacle. So we're expecting a plague of darkness to come, which a lot of my brothers and sisters have been getting dreams about this. And it is confirmed in the word. When you read Matthew chapter 24, Mark chapter 13, Luke chapter 21, and it gives you the precepts in the 16:11 to the book of Isaiah, it does say that the sun, the moon, and the stars will no longer get their light. It's going to be darkness. Then following that, the Son of Man will be coming on clouds, and the redemption will be starting. Okay, so I've been having some brothers and sisters that have been having dreams and seeing the redemption of Yahushua purchase possession. And those who marked by the blood of the Lamb will be taken or redeemed or gathered. You can use one of those words. They all mean the same. Okay, so read Ephesians chapter 1, verse 13 to 14, because if you don't have the mark of the blood of the Lamb upon you, which is the Holy Spirit, you will not be redeemed. And you will have to endure and go through the 3.5 years great tribulation with the last Antichrist. Or some of you will be destroyed when Babylon is destroyed. Okay? Now, when you read Revelation chapter 18, it's like I said, it's a conversation. It's first telling you about what's going to happen to Babylon, but then it tells you come out of her. What is going to happen that when Yahushua redeemed the chosen remnant of Israel to go back into the land of Israel, the water's going to open up, my people, as written in 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and Isaiah chapter 11. And he's going to make a way for you to go. For those who are chosen to go back into the Holy Land in the earthly realm, okay? But some of you are not going to leave. Because some of you love Babylon and you're attached to these worldly possessions. So therefore, if you're going to be destroyed along with Babylon when it's time for her to be destroyed. So the only way for you to get into the eternal kingdom, you're going to have to repent and endure and go through that plague. Okay? And then on the second resurrection, you will face Yahuwah and receive your judgment. And then at that point, he will determine whether you can enter. So you're going to have to make sure your soul is right before you die, in other words. Okay? The death of the firstborn has not occurred in modern day Egypt, which is America. We have also some of the plagues to occur already. Check the internet and news for these plagues. So a lot of these plagues are occurring. You have the waters turning to blood. We haven't had the major bodies of water like the seas yet, but there are some areas where the waters turn to blood. There has been a plague of frogs, especially in Australia. You read about their history, what's going on, how that started. Lice, flies, animals dying. Okay, we have seen great hail, but I don't think we have seen the hail with the fire yet. We have seen locusts. Okay, there are some people that's dealing with skin conditions, so yeah, we can say boars. So check the internet for these things because these things are happening now. Okay. So that's I'm sorry, I can barely speak. This concludes this lesson. I know it was quite long, but I wanted to make sure that you understand why America is Babylon and why Rome is one of the heads on the beast, why Rome is one of the seven heads on the beast, which is represented by a wound, a deadly wound that is healed, because Rome won't be destroyed until the very end, my people. And Babylon will be destroyed before the Antichrist go into full effect for 3.5 years. Okay? Seek Yahuwah on this. Continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and baptize the people in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. And make sure they receive salvation as is written in Romans chapter 10, verse 8 to 13. For soon the door of the ark of salvation will be closing. Soon the door of grace will be closing. For we know this is time for Yahushua HaMashiach to return to redeem his people. Also read Jeremiah chapter 30, for we will be redeemed during the time of Jacob troubles. Also read Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14 through 16. For Yahuwah will be known as the Elohim that delivered his children out of the land of the north and the other lands. He would no longer be remembered as the Elohim that delivered the children of Jacob out of ancient Egypt. So that will occur, my people. Please read those 2 chapters I just gave to you. I love you and shalom.